At this time, I'd like to introduce our guest speaker. This year, it will be Ralph Moffat. He's from the Western Pennsylvania Musicians Group, right up here on Forest Avenue. Our borough deeply indebted to Ralph. The fire department deeply indebted to Ralph for all the generosity that he has provided for us over the years. Anytime we need a sound system, anytime we need any type of entertainment for the borough, Ralph is very quick to step in and do that, no questions asked. So, ladies and gentlemen, Ralph Moffat. Thank you, Ralph.
Thank you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. You know, each Memorial Day it gets a little rougher for me to go up here and talk sometimes, especially on this day. I guess I can start by saying that my name's Ralph Moffat, and I guess you could say I was kind of born into the military. I was born on September 2nd, 1945, which was VJ Day. I have to back up a little bit and say that we were born. I'm a triplet, 2 girls and me. We were the first triplets born in the Keysport Hospital. On October 25th, 1965, I was drafted into the Army and spent some time there and got a call to overseas to protect our country in Vietnam. I was on a 155 self-propelled howitzer. It's like a tank. We had to do everything we could on that tank to survive. We were stationed at 35 miles southeast of Vung Tau in a little place called Nui Dot. We were stationed with the Australians and the New Zealanders. Anyway, that's very important. I don't want to get into any drastic things of what happened over there. There was a lot, believe me. When you see all these little kids that were killed over there, and people as well, and even our comrades together. I think it's very important also to mention what it was like when I came back to this great country of ours. 2 hours after returning from Nam, I was spit upon. My pride in America and my corpse were all but gone. I wore my uniform, only when ordered to do so, because I was called a baby killer wherever I seemed to go. The same flag that was draped over the coffins of my friends was buried in the streets by war protesters to no end. It hurt me, and I know my fallen comrades' families too. My friends died, giving their freedom for protesters to do what they do. When the war ended, there were no flags or thank yous at all. I was ashamed for volunteering answering my country's call. My pride and self-esteem couldn't be expressed to anyone around. When I asked about the war, I held my head low and glanced at the ground. For 2 weeks I drank while watching on TV Vietnam's fall, where my friends died, went down without a shot fired at all. When Nam fell, so did my soul, which turned to drinking and tranquility. Very few knew that I served in Nam for my country. I suppressed all memories of war for over 10 years during that time. I used a GI Bill to go to college when falling into drug and alcohol and crime. I never graduated into anything stronger than pot and benzodrine. In class, when asked about the war, I was made to feel like a latrine. When I came back here, ladies and gentlemen, I looked at the eyes of the people in this great country of ours. When I came back, all I see in their eyes was hate for me. And I asked myself, what did I do wrong? I figured the safest place for me was to live in the woods, And I lived there for a while, where I was abused there also. So I come out of the woods, and I figured the safest place for me was to live on the streets of Pittsburgh. And I continued to do that. People came by, said nasty things to me, kicked me while I was sitting out there under the bridge in Pittsburgh with my uniform on, old dirty fatigues and an old hat. People came by, they just didn't care. They treated me like dirt. I stayed there for quite a while. And then one day, a Vietnam vet came up to me and asked me if I wanted help. And I said, yes, I do. He knew where I was, he knew where I came from. And it was sad back then about all the people that turned Vietnam veterans away. Real sad. He gave me some help. He took me to the VA hospital. I was pretty well smashed up, drugs and alcohol, living on those streets. A long time went by with a lot of rehab and a lot of help from the VA hospitals. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot of veterans still out on the streets of Pittsburgh. Who doesn't want to make that decision? Today, I suffer from PTSD, which is for the rest of my life. After a year of being home, they sent me some medals in the mail. And I was awarded the Bronze Star and some other numerous medals. And I looked at those medals, and I looked at the people, and I asked myself again, what did I do wrong? There's so many people out there today suffering, like myself, from PTSD, medical ailments. And I think the Vietnam era, we played an awful important role on our new veterans that we have today. Where a lot of new people out there show a lot more respect than we ever had when I came back from Vietnam. And we certainly appreciate that. I lost the ability to be able to see a sunset and look how beautiful it is. I don't have that anymore. I can't look at a beautiful anything today. It doesn't look beautiful anymore. PTSD comes in different ways, different flavors. When Agent Orange hit me, it was over there, it was different. That's what I have to suffer with the rest of my life, as other veterans do today, ladies and gentlemen. I have a son who I probably haven't seen in 10, 15 years because I never knew how to take care of him. I had to let that go and let God and help myself in my addiction. Vietnam played an awful tough role on myself and other veterans as well, ladies and gentlemen. So, you know, I love my son very much. And after 10 or 12 years of not seeing him, I made amends to him. And he loves me too. And that was a big reward for me. So when you see a veteran out there today, ladies and gentlemen, just say thank you for your service. And I think all will be well. All these veterans that are living on the streets today, fortunately there isn't a lot than what there was when we come out of Vietnam. It's a sad thing coming like this and living like this for the rest of my life. I had to find something that would work for me. A lot of us veterans have a hurt down inside, and a lot of us don't know where that hurt's coming from. We have to find where that's at in order to live in this great country of ours. There's so much more I could say, but I don't you know, the hurt is still there. It'll be there as long as I live. There's nothing I can do about that. I had to find something that worked for myself. So I opened up a musicians group up there, Forest Avenue. For the last 28 years, I've been in here in West Homestead working with these kids in drug and alcohol and music. And it's been working out very well. And that's what I'll keep doing. My mother and father brought me up the right way on trying to help people. I don't know what's going on today. Years ago, you knew your neighbor. You got in touch with them. It was so nice. Marriages lasted so long. People passed away and still had marriages at 90 years old. I don't know what's going on today. It's sad. Years ago, when you got in a fight, you beat each other up. A couple days after that, you're the best of friends. Today, all they do is shoot you. Where are we getting to? I have no clue. I'd like to thank everybody for being here. I really appreciate it. And just you people sitting out there and me talking up here has made me feel a lot better. Thank you so much, and may God bless.
Thank you, Ralph. Thank you for those words, and thank you for the service to our country.